Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be wild because like the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about how a racist gacha YouTuber faked their own death and tried to blame it on me in order to get sympathy after being called out for saying the N-word. Yeah, I know, it's going to be a lot, but honestly, this whole situation is full of twists and turns, catfishing, and even resurrection from the grave, so stay tuned for all that. At first, I didn't even want to make this video due to knowing that this person was likely doing all this for attention, but there's a limit to my patience, and I decided to F it and just put it all out there. If nothing else comes from this, at least I got a video out of it. And this can act as a form of closure for me. As Beyoncé likes to say, make lemonade out of lemons, and that's what I'm here to do. I won't lie and say that some of the things that this person did to me didn't hurt or actually bother me, because they definitely did. But the point of this video is mostly to just point and laugh at it, because they don't deserve anything other than that. Let this also be another example of the racism and harassment Black creators have to deal with, and use it as a learning moment for all of us. Before I jump into the shit show, I want to give a huge disclaimer for blatant racism, suicide mentions, and just toxicity. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So this all started spring of last year when I was getting attacked for drawing myself as an anime character. Shortly put, I got bombarded with racist abuse for simply drawing a self-insert into a Studio Ghibli movie, and it angered many because apparently some people can't stand seeing Black people in anime for some reason. I have two videos going over those situations, which I'll leave in the description down below and in the iCards above. Well, before I even made my videos on those situations, I was busy calling it out on my Twitter and Instagram accounts. This is when the infamous gacha YouTuber joined into the picture by being one of the many who were throwing racist slurs in my way. This gacha YouTuber was called FAKED, and they got on my radar when they made a video called Why You Should Unsubscribe from Thumin and two other Black creators. What really blew my mind was their ridiculous reasoning for wanting people to unsubscribe from me. It was simply because, according to Fizzy, and I quote, reason number 1, they are disgusting N-words. I was so flabbergasted by this video, which was sent to me by a subscriber, that I had to share it on Twitter because it was just too crazy to ignore. All the mess always happens on my Twitter, so if y'all want to keep up with me, go follow it after this video. Anyways, I literally just screenshotted the video and tweeted it out with tired emojis, thinking that this was gonna be the end of it, but alas, Fizzy was not done yet. They got so pressed that I made a tweet showcasing their blatant racism towards not only me, but two other Black creators, that they made a direct response video to my tweet. In the response, they demanded that I accept their criticism of me, which, let me remind you, was them just calling me a slur. And because I found this all amusing due to how outlandish it was at the time, I tweeted about it for a second time. As a response to my second tweet, Fizzy made a third video where they made gacha avatars of me and the two other Black creators they were bullying alongside with me, calling us pets and slaves. At this point for me, the amusement was wearing off, and I was ready to just be done with this person. They were, at the end of the day, still verbally abusing me with slurs, and as ridiculous as they were, it was getting annoying at this point, so I decided to ignore that video and them in general. But this didn't sit well with Fizzy, because it appears that they absolutely thrived off of my attention. So when I ignored them, they upped their antics and started leaving racist responses to my videos. In my How to Color Dark Skin video, they said, and I quote, "Why would someone want to learn how to draw Black people? What a waste of time if you ask me." In my racist crush storytime video, where I recounted an incident where my crush called me a slur, they said, "LOL, what he said was so funny and it's been so long and you're still sensitive." And when I finally made my video regarding the racist harassment I was receiving for drawing myself as an anime character, they said, "You deserved it for blackwashing Kiki." Which, as a side note, I didn't do, but whatever. All this extra stuff Fizzy was doing was getting tiring and repetitive, so I blocked them from my YouTube channel, hoping they would finally leave me alone. But again, Fizzy had other plans. They moved into my Twitter DMs after they noticed that their comments weren't appearing on my videos and started sending me slurs in there. Specifically, they said, and I quote, "Keep crying to your fans about me all you want, N-word. Stop being such a goddamn coward. Check my new video also. Keep whining about my content. Stupid snowflake. snowflake. I want to remind you all that Fizzy was doing all this unprovoked and specifically because they despised my skin color. They had even gone on record saying that they simply hate black people, which is why they were dedicated in harassing me. But again, I have never gone out of my way to insult or attack Fizzy. When I did call them out, it was simply to show their words to the public. I'm saying all this now so you guys get the full picture before I move on to phase 2 of this story, because it's going to escalate to a whole nother level. On one of my follow-up videos regarding the racist harassment I was getting, I briefly mentioned Fizzy's antics and urged my followers to not interact with them, but rather to report them for bullying and harassment, because that's exactly what they were doing to me and others. But apparently, after my video came out, Fizzy decided to turn a new leaf and release multiple different so-called apologies for their actions. In the first one, they basically victimized themselves and called people out for harassing them, which is ironic to me because weren't you doing that same exact thing to me? But now that it's happening to you, it's suddenly not okay. Anyways, y'all, you know I don't condone harassment at all, and I specifically asked my followers to not do that. But that being said, I don't have much sympathy for anyone that harasses others to the extent Fizzy did to me, getting some of their own medicine. And to be frank, most of the people in Fizzy's comments weren't even harassing them. They were just giving them criticism on why it was wrong for them to do what they did to me and others, but I digress. What I find interesting in this apology is the fact that they started trauma dumping in order to justify their actions and garner sympathy, which is something Fizzy keeps doing throughout this whole debacle. Fizzy then made a second so-called apology video where they took an even bigger victim role, which I didn't even know was possible, and demanded an apology to be given to them for some reason, and that people were too sensitive over a word. And on their last apology video, they finally addressed some of their actions and apologized to me directly along with the rest of the creators they harassed. I personally didn't take it seriously at all. I think it was one of their ploys again. Like, how am I supposed to take it seriously? You were literally asking for an apology like 2 seconds ago, and now suddenly you want to make an actual apology. It just comes off as super insincere to me, which is why I paid it no mind and moved along, ignoring them. You would think that this would be the end of this crazy GACHA with Fizzy, since they finally made an apology and supposedly left me alone. But as expected, Fizzy couldn't just let this shit go. They went on to fake their own death in order to blame it on me, which I'll go over in the next part of this video. For a time, Fizzy left me alone, and I eventually forgot about their existence. This was so until one fateful night in October, when I got a shocking DM from a not safe for work gacha account that really took me by surprise. It said, and I quote, "I effing hate you. My girlfriend is dead because of you. You ruined her life. I hope you're proud of yourself. You sent your fans to attack someone who was doing what she loved. I hope you effing die, thumin." Whew, okay. Yeah, I was really confused at this DM due to the fact that the only people I usually beef with on Twitter are either racist or some extreme which is a different story for another day, but I asked this person who they were referring to because I genuinely didn't know and felt that the accusation was too serious to ignore. You can then imagine my surprise when they responded with Fizzy Bob's name. This put a huge seed of doubt in me because ain't no way this person is seriously sliding into my DMs blaming me for the death of my harasser. So I responded with, "Isn't that the racist gacha person who harassed me by calling me slurs?" And then proceeded to share all the instances where Fizzy was being racist and cruel towards me. And I also added, "But somehow I'm to blame when they get held accountable. Sorry not sorry. Also, I don't believe you. I'm pretty sure this is you, Fizzy, and you just made this story up to get sympathy, so you can F right off for all I care. Stop contacting me and leave me alone." I came to that conclusion because ain't no way anyone with a functioning or even a non-functioning brain could come to that conclusion. It's no secret that Fizzy was targeting and attacking me this whole time. So how am I to blame for them getting backlash for their own actions? And also wishing death on me because of this. Like, what? You want me to die because Fizzy was held accountable? Really? Also, what do you mean you sent your fans to attack someone who was doing what they loved? I guess Fizzy loved being a racist bully, but sorry for you, I'm not gonna stand for that, especially when she was so persistent in targeting me specifically. Actions have consequences. If Fizzy didn't want backlash, maybe she shouldn't have been a racist hack who attacks others. Like I said before, the only thing I ever did was to show what Fizzy was saying to me and ask people to report them for it. That's it. If that's me ruining their life, when they decided to seek me out and say all those things unprovoked, knowing it would cause backlash, then honestly, so be it. That being said, this DM was giving me huge catfish vibes due to the suspicious nature of it, but I was 99% sure that it was Fizzy herself making this story up in order to garner sympathy with this new girlfriend alt they created. When I confronted them about this, they responded with an incoherent mess of words, basically saying that they were not Fizzy and that they were willing to show their hand to prove that they weren't her, while begging me to trust them. I was not convinced, so I asked them to show proof of Fizzy's death, but their only response was just, "Trust me, I'm not Fizzy, I swear." This person then proceeded to send me a picture of their hand as proof that they weren't Fizzy, but that obviously wasn't very convincing to me because I had never seen a picture of Fizzy's hand, so there was nothing I could compare this random hand photo to. I didn't even ask for this hand reveal. They just sent it, and I was so confused when I got it. I was getting tired of talking with this person, so I asked them why they were blaming Fizzy's passing on me, and this is what they had to say. "I came to the conclusion that it was your fault, which I still believe it is, because you made a video about her, made 2 tweets about her, uncensoring her name, and letting your fans go willy-nilly attacking her. She was getting death threats for months. Did you not know?" This response pissed me off because how dare they blame me for Fizzy getting backlash. They were a bully and a racist, harassing creators over and over again, but suddenly when they get called out for it, we're the bad guys. I think sending death threats to anyone is wrong, and I have disavowed that type of behavior on my channel multiple times. But the fact that this person is saying, "Oh, you tweeted about Fizzy 2 times, and oh, you mentioned her in this one video." Well, guess what? Fizzy was seeking me out this many times. There's a limit to how much I can take this type of behavior before I call it out. If you're willing to say all this shit with your whole chest, then you need to be able to stand behind it. If you're saying this on your account and I call you out showing your account, suddenly you can't back down and be like, "You can't show my account, you have to censor my name." I will show your name. Also, let's pause for a moment and think of all this logically. If your significant other passed away, you would not be on Twitter blaming random creators for their passing while trying to convince them that you're not the deceased person. Like the fact that this person is up in my DMs sending me random hand photos and swearing up and down that they aren't Fizzy in order to garner some sort of sympathy is just deplorable. At this point, I was over this conversation and I decided to do some digging of my own. I searched for Fizzy's original Twitter handle and checked who they were following, and if this account that claimed to be Fizzy's one and only girlfriend was interacting with Fizzy's original Twitter account. Well, to no one's surprise, neither of these accounts were following each other, and they had never interacted together either. I went on the video the girlfriend sent me, and it took me to Fizzy's YouTube channel, where in her latest video she was asking all her followers to go follow this girlfriend's YouTube channel and their Discord. I found this extremely sus because why would Fizzy randomly make a video about this new person and ask everyone to go follow their Discord and their YouTube account? It's like they're trying to push these people that are following them to this new account so that when they suddenly disappear, people will flock to this girlfriend. I then looked around the girlfriend's Discord server and there was not a single interaction between Fizzy and her alleged girlfriend. You would think that if they were a real couple, there would be some sort of trace or record of it, but the only interaction I could find was in that single YouTube video. Like, to me, it comes off as Fizzy being tired of getting backlash, so they made this girlfriend character ask people to go follow their socials so that when they decide to fake their own death, the girlfriend becomes the grieving widow that everybody flocks to go support. Maybe I'm just too paranoid, but I do not for a second believe a word that this girlfriend is saying. I told them as such and proceeded to block them on that account as well. That whole situation gave me a disgusting vibe. This person was legit blaming me for murdering someone, for taking someone's life, for driving someone to suicide, all the while telling me to go die, all the while sending me death threats. That's such a traumatic and horrific thing to put on anyone, and to do all that for attention is just beyond sick to me. I just want to add that even if hypothetically whatever the girlfriend was saying was true, I would still not care. I have no sympathy for a racist bully. Maybe I'm cold or rude for that, but they dehumanized and harassed me enough times that I honestly have no sympathy or empathy for them. At this point, I had blocked this girlfriend person, and obviously I had Fizzy blocked everywhere, but somehow they managed to reach out to me via email again, despite claiming to have died. This is what they had to say, and I quote, It's your fault that I died. I killed myself because of you. You murdered me because your stupid fans bullied me for saying a word. Wow, it's just a word. If you were born as an N-word, just accept it. Don't fight it. I'm dead and blood is in your hands. N-word, F-word. I will make sure you suffer like your ancestors. Snowflake, From hell, the angels rise. So, first of all, I never knew that the dead would be able to send emails from beyond the grave. I guess they have internet in hell. Secondly, they were back again sending these harassing messages to me despite issuing 3 apologies and going as far as faking their own death. Fizzy just can't seem to leave me alone and is haunting me even as a ghost. This again solidified my suspicion that the girlfriend was Fizzy all along because they really tried to garner sympathy, and when it didn't work, they went back into their old ways of throwing slurs and insults at me. I have blocked this email too, and even if Fizzy tries to contact me again, I'll block them on sight. This harassment started April last year, and the fact that it's still going on to this day is mind-blowing to me. Fizzy claimed to be an adult in some of their social media accounts, but even if they were a minor, this is still going too far. I don't care if you're a child or an adult. Doing all this is absolutely unacceptable and disgusting. The fact that they're out here pretending to die, trying to put that shit on my conscience, like even if you are a minor, doing this shit is not okay. It's not right. Nobody should have to stand for all this. Like, I know I've been laughing. I know I said we should point and laugh at this situation, but at its core, it's not okay. And to me, it has been heavily like weighing on me. That's why I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to make this video because I don't want people to be in my comments again victim blaming me and telling me that, oh, you should have just ignored, oh, you should have done this, you should have done. No, I handled it the way I wanted to handle it. I'm just here sharing it so that y'all know that this is what I have to deal with, and probably many other Black creators have to deal with this type of behavior. Let me remind you that I have never done anything to this person. I have never called them names, nothing. They came to me and degraded and attacked me only because I'm Black. That's it. That's the crime I have committed. Let that sink in. I've been putting up with this for so long that this latest stunt was the last straw for me. There's absolutely no reason for you to constantly pester Black creators because you don't like Black people. Like, I know people are gonna be in my comments saying it's a troll, it's a troll, it's a troll, don't blah blah blah, whatever. I know it's a troll. Probably it is a troll. It doesn't make anything I had to go through okay, in the slightest. I think I'll cool off for a second and I'll see you in my final thoughts. I really don't have a conclusion to this story, other than I hope that this person leaves me alone finally. I doubt they will, but you know, I can hope that maybe they cut off internet from hell. I shared this crazy experience with you all because it's so unbelievable until you see it for yourself. There were so many twists and turns that it's like a Lifetime movie. Too bad it had to happen at my expense. Let me ask you guys a question. If I didn't share this story, would you know that this is going on? Probably not. You would never even imagine that this is the type of behavior we have to deal with outside of our content creation. Like, this is what's going on behind the scenes. This constant bombardment to Black creators. Like, unfortunate as it is, that's what we have to deal with. Like I said earlier, I'm making this video as a form of closure to myself, and I just wanted to share with you all what it's like being a Black creator on this space. This is not to scare you or anything, but the unfortunate truth is that the harassment and bullying we face due to our skin color is at an all-time high, and I hope all my fellow Black creators stay safe out there. These people will stop at nothing to try and make us feel horrible for how we were born, and I want others to know what we have to deal with. I could have just not made this video and moved on, but what good is that? At least now, more of you are aware of the hardships Black creators face, and you can be supportive and a good ally to us. I do my best to try and deal with these people, but it gets too much at times because there is no rhyme or reason for these attacks. I literally just be minding my own business and suddenly I have been accused of murder, or someone throws a slur at me. It makes being a creator and an artist so much more difficult. I won't be stopping content creation by any means, but I do want to be open and share why I haven't been uploading as much. It just gets too much at times, but I'm doing okay despite all that. If anything, please support your fellow Black creators and let's do more to keep this place clean from bigots and racist bullies. If you want to support me in any way, please consider consider becoming a patron or a channel member. That way you will be helping me and my channel directly. I also have merch and I have a coffee, so check them both out. I'll leave the links in the description. I want to thank my current patrons and channel members for being supportive. Thank you to Lil Artsy Savage, The Opinion Queen, Nat, Dianara Serges, Shamisha Walker, Tenjimon, Seiji Hito, Hat, Salem Smith, JJ, Adam Quentin Kali, Ghoul Wrangler, Isabella, Vic Abrantes, Jariah Sin, Min McLaurin, Glitchy Garbage, Vic Abrantes, Echo Foxtrot, Black Wolf 275, Split into Two, Harriet Rose, and Lady Kimono. It's honestly thanks to you guys that this channel is even running. If any of you watching want to help this channel run and be my motivation for these YouTube videos, please become a patron or a channel member. Before I go, I want to give a huge disclaimer. Please do not go seek this fishy person out and send them death threats or bully them or harass them, whatever. Just ignore them. Same with this girlfriend account. If you happen to find them, ignore them. If you have something to say it in the comments of this video. Let's keep the conversation here and leave it at that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.